Hi, I am Dr. Jeanine Joy, and I wanted to share with you a strategy that I've developed that helps people lean towards more positive and less stressful thoughts. It's based on quantum physics. Don't worry, it's not hard. It's actually a really easy process that a lot of people have found success with. So let's jump right in and you'll see how easy it is and you'll be able to start using this today. In quantum physics, things are so small that we can't measure most of them. Classic physics deals with things you can see and touch and feel with your traditional senses. Quantum physics deals with energy and waves, and so every desire that you have on the quantum level creates a wave. And then your belief about that desire creates another wave. And depending on the relationship between those two, between the wave that is created by your desire and the wave created by your belief, if they are in sync, then you end up with an amplified power to achieve that. So if you say, I want to do this and I will do this, I know I can do this, your waves are in sync and you're going to achieve whatever it is that you have that desire for, because you have that added power on the quantum level. But when you have a desire, you say, I want to, but I can't because, and it doesn't matter at all what your because is. If you have a desire and you say, but I can't do it because, and just insert any belief you have that limits you and your belief in your ability to do it, your ability to accomplish it is diminished because of the wave of your belief about your desire not being in sync with your desire, with the wave created by your desire. So if they're just not totally aligned, if one is, I want to go to Hawaii for Christmas this year, and the other one is, and your belief about it is, well, it's going to be really hard to make that happen, and maybe I can, maybe I can't. I'm not sure if it's even worth the effort. Your line of power is just discombobulated, and you can see that on the chart on the right. It's not completely canceled out, but it's nowhere near the power that you have when you say, I want to go to Hawaii during the holidays this year, and I know I can make it happen. Then you get the amplified power. With the destructive interference, the level of destruction that occurs depends on how opposed your belief is to your desire. If your desire to go to Hawaii and see the whales during the holidays is met with a belief that there is no way you're going to be able to do that, then you have a flat line. You have no power. You've either got to change your beliefs or find something else to focus on, because all it's going to do is cause frustration. So I created a numerical chart that is designed to help you find thoughts that are in sync with your desires and amplify your power. Was a very famous psychologist, and he came up with this thing that he called synchronicities. We've all had synchronicities. A synchronicity is when some people will refer to it as the stars aligned. It's when something that you want that you don't know how to make it happen, some resource that you need, comes into your experience that makes it line up. It might be somebody who knows somebody who introduces you. It might be a piece of information you were missing that makes everything else make sense once you have it. When you get aligned with your desire and your belief about your desire, synchronicities start happening all the time. You can go through a day and it's just boom, boom, boom. You've got a synchronicity and a synchronicity and a synchronicity. And you're literally emotionally high from the chemicals your body releases when you feel that good. It's just a great day, and you can make more of your days that way. So let's dive into this chart. I've got the magnifying glass there so that you can see the decimal point in front of all the numbers that are on the left side of this chart. So this corresponds perfectly to the lines that we looked at before with the amplified power and the destructive interference. The left side is showing different degrees of destructive interference that diminish your power. You use this chart to compare your desire. I want to go to Hawaii and see the whales in December. I can't. Nobody can. Well, with Hawaii in December, you know that's a lie because there's lots of people in Hawaii in December. So that one with that particular desire is easy to reject. What a lot of people will do is then they limit who they are by saying, well, no one like me, and add whatever limiting factor they think applies to themselves. They might think it's their social economic status. They might think that it's their gender. They might think it's their nationality. They might think it's how much money they have or how many kids they have. But if you really start looking at the big picture, and I encourage you to start looking for people who can and using their success as a reason to believe that you can. Because it doesn't matter how many children you have. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter your gender, your age. None of that matters because there are people who go to Hawaii in December and see the whales who have those same characteristics. And if they can do it, so can you. So that's kind of the thought process you use to move your belief about your desire towards the right, where your power to make it happen is amplified. There's all sorts of ways to get to Hawaii. You could win a trip. You could get a job there. Your employer might want you to go there for a special assignment. There might be a conference that your employer sends you to. There's just so many different ways. And when you limit the way that it could happen, then you're way over here on the left side, limiting the power. And the synchronicities, the beneficial synchronicities, don't line up when you're over there creating destructive interference. And it is you because you are the person who thinks your thoughts. So if you recognize that you have thoughts like some people can, but I can't, or if I change, maybe I could, well, then believe that you can change. Don't just say, well, if I could change. Yes, everybody can change. Change happens when we believe we can and when we have enough motivation to make it happen. And you don't have any motivation to make it happen if you don't think you can do it, because then it just feels hopeless. And that is not going to create any power. If you say, when I X, I might be able to, then all you have to do is figure out how to do X. And then your power is pretty much at the minimum when of the positive side. When you say, I don't know if I can, you're leaving it open. If you start saying, maybe I can, then you can actually literally feel the energy in your body increase when you say, maybe I can, and you actually believe it. You will also feel more positive emotion. You'll feel hopeful. When you I think I can, it's even more energy and more positive emotion. When you get to I believe I can, now you're starting to get a little bit of passion for it. And your energy level is just, you can literally feel the energy that will fuel your effort to make it happen coursing through your body. And then when you know you can, that's when the synchronicities just line up. And it's like the planes coming into the airport and you see the lights all lined up on Friday night. The synchronicities line up. You don't have to see them coming. They just show up. And you have a lot of power to make it happen. If you read stories about people who, against great odds, met with great success, what they did is they created the belief that they could, and they nourished that belief until they knew they could. And if you ask them, once it got to that point, whatever it was, and no matter how hard it seemed when they were way over at, I don't think I can, once they got to that point, it just seemed easy. When you change your mind first, everything else is easier. You have to believe in yourself. Here's the chart without the magnifier. It's the same chart, same power, just not magnified. Now, we've all heard of the placebo effect. Somebody gets a sugar pill that they think is something else, and they get better. Well, this reflects the power of the mind. When they think they're going to get better, when they think they can, the mind and body are connected. The mind and body will work in harmony when you support them with your positive thoughts. If you don't think that you can get better, it interferes with your ability to get better. And it doesn't matter if it's a physical ailment, a mental ailment, an addiction, or learning something, or being successful. It doesn't matter what it is. Your belief about your ability makes a big difference. So the placebo effect is created because you've got this constructive interference that amplifies the power to make it happen on the level of quantum physics. Well, what about when you don't believe it's going to happen? Almost everybody knows what the placebo effect is. A lot of people don't know what the nocebo effect is. Well, the placebo effect is a positive outcome from the belief that it's going to happen. A nocebo effect is a negative outcome from the belief that it's going to happen. It's a negative self-fulfilling prophecy. I haven't counted for about 2 years. The last count, there were 156 published studies on the nocebo effect. It is as real as the placebo effect. A negative belief creates negative outcomes, whether it's about your success at doing something you want to accomplish or whether it's about your health. So leaning towards these beliefs that you can and getting that constructive interference working for you can really change the outcomes that you experience in every area of your life. I invite you to take this chart and put a copy in your wallet. And when you feel negative emotion, when you want something and you don't think you can do it, take it out and take those baby steps first in your mind to help you believe more in your ability. When you feel more energized to do it, when you feel more positive emotion about your desire, your chances of success have increased. That's what those things are telling you. And they're giving you the fuel. That energy in your body is giving you the fuel to do the things. It's not just changing your mind. It's that when you change your mind, the thoughts you think, the words you say, and the actions you take are different. And that's why it is important to believe you can. In addition, the need for coping. When we're stressed, we want to feel better. So we need to cope with it in some way. But what you'll find is that when your thoughts are on the right side, your stress is lower. So you don't need to cope with the situation because you're happy about the situation. You're hopeful about the situation. You're eager, or you're passionate, or you're feeling joy. There's all sorts of positive emotions when you're over on that right side. You need coping skills when you're on the left side. When you need coping skills and you don't have them, people turn to dysfunctional coping skills like alcohol and drugs and violence and all sorts of things that they just make things worse fast, or to maladaptive coping skills that make things worse slowly. For example, smokers think that smoking helps them with their anxiety, and 60% of the people who still smoke suffer from anxiety. But really, it's the deep breathing, and you can deep breathe without a cigarette. When you learn coping skills, which deep breathing is a palliative coping skill, then you can give up and overcome dysfunctional and maladaptive coping skills. Learning to change the way you perceive things is an advanced coping skill, and this chart helps you with that. And I've talked already about how your energy level shifts and increases when you improve your belief about your ability to do something. Your energy level decreases when your belief declines. And then you don't have the energy to do things. Maybe you're depressed. Maybe you're just not doing anything because you just don't feel like it. When you change your mind first, the energy comes, and then you'll feel like doing the things that you need to do to make what you want happen. This is another way of saying the same thing. If you have a desire and it's got this power to move the wheel, but then you have a belief that is pushing against the desire, you're not going to go anywhere. You need to get your belief and your desire pushing in the same direction. And you do that by changing your thoughts and your beliefs. Your beliefs are just thoughts you've thought repeatedly. If you think new thoughts repeatedly, your beliefs will change. When you change your beliefs in more positive ways, it's a transformational change. And it really helps you achieve your desires. It makes your life easier. The belief that willpower is unlimited leads to better outcomes. The only way your willpower is unlimited is when you believe you can. If you believe you can't, your willpower is limited. Again, I am Dr. Jeanine Joy. I am the CEO of Happiness First Institute, and our website is happinessfirst.com. I have written 8 books that talk about ways to develop coping skills and develop a positive mindset. For many decades, people have been being told to think positive, but they weren't told how to do it. I teach people how to actually change the way their mind processes information, to change how they perceive situations so that they feel better and they can actually benefit from positive thinking instead of feeling guilty because they're not. You have to decide to change the way you think if you want to change the way you think. And then you have to understand how to actually do it. Just wanting to do it doesn't make the difference. So I hope this has been helpful to you. And please feel free to check out my other resources on my website and other places that I write, including Quora and bizcatalyst.com. Have a wonderful day.